Every good story has an ending. Sometimes all of the characters you've come to know and love get happy endings, but other times, our heroes are left to the worst possible fate. Here are a few of the bleakest finales in TV history. Fans either loved or hated Seinfeld's final episode. Whichever side you're on, you have to admit it was a pretty bold way to end a lighthearted sitcom. What makes Seinfeld's ending so dark isn't just that it throws Jerry, Elaine, George, and Kramer behind bars. Co-creator Larry David clearly wanted to put viewers in the uncomfortable position of acknowledging that these characters, as funny as they might be from a distance, simply weren't good people. And just in case you think the show is being way too easy on the gang, the final episode makes sure to bring back just about every single side character who ever got humiliated or harmed over the course of Seinfeld to ensure that the protagonists face actual consequences. There's no mistake, they belong in jail. For the most part, fans disliked Seinfeld's finale at the time, but maybe that's the point. It's a punishing hour of television, and while it's probably not the finale anyone wanted, it's definitely the one they deserved. Quantum Leap was an entertaining blend of science fiction, drama, and comedy. The premise of Dr. Sam Beckett leaping through time with only the holographic image of his buddy Al for support is pure sci-fi. And the idea that he could presumably only move forward by repairing the past meant that, from week to week, he could jump from crime thrillers to feel-good romances to straight up just being a monkey.
And so Dr. Beckett finds himself leaping from life to life, striving to put right what once went wrong, and hoping each time that his next leap will be the leap home.
The series finale begins with Sam realizing that he's leapt into his own body, but in an unfamiliar reality. Finding himself in a coal mining town in 1953, at the same moment of his birth, Sam chats with a mysterious bar owner, who tells him that he's been in control of his own fate the whole time. Sam's need to help people has kept him from making the leap home. The divine bartender asks Sam if he's ready to finally have a normal life again. But Sam wants to take one final leap to prevent his friend Al's heartbreaking divorce. Successfully changing the course of Al's life, Sam leaps again, and the screen fades to black. A hastily misspelled caption proclaims that Sam never returned home. Despite Sam's goodwill, he's still out there, forever, thanks to the show being canceled at the last moment. Felina, the last episode of Breaking Bad, might be the most satisfying TV finale of all time. Every question gets answered. Almost every loose thread is tied up. Still, Jesse's big rescue aside, Felina is every bit as dark as the rest of the series. Ultimately, the finale proves that, despite Walt's good intentions, his secret life as a drug dealer fractured the lives of every single person he knew and loved. Yes, poor Walt Jr. is going to inherit a hefty sum of money eventually, but it's still blood money, and that certainly won't undo the trauma of finding out his beloved father was such a rotten guy. Although Walt manages to find it in himself to mount a big rescue mission for his partner Jesse, this hardly redeems his past actions. One of the darkest moments of Felina is Walt's final conversation with Skyler, when he admits that building his meth empire was never about his family.
I did it for me. I liked it.
Luke Cage was an honorable figure in Netflix's dark corner of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Although he'd claim that he wasn't heroic, his actions spoke louder than words. Whether Luke was bouncing bullets off his chest or facing down bad guys with his intimidating swagger, it's no wonder that he quickly became Harlem's hero. Yet, as the show's finale demonstrates, even Luke Cage is vulnerable to the dangers of power. When Luke's archenemy Mariah Dillard finally dies, poisoned by her estranged daughter Tilda, she has one last trick up her sleeve. She leaves her nightclub, Harlem's Paradise, in Luke's name, making the hero a de facto crime boss. Although Luke hopes he can stay true to his morals, his cold stare into the camera in the episode's final moments reveal an emerging dark side. Unfortunately, Netflix pulled the plug, leaving this culturally important series with a serious bummer of an ending. Dinosaurs was a cheerful ABC sitcom featuring a working-class family of prehistoric lizards dealing with the ups and downs of life. And if you grew up in the 90s, you probably expected it to appear here. Why? Because while plenty of sitcoms end on a bittersweet note, there's only one where the doofus dad helps cause the apocalypse. The show's finale, Changing Nature, is a subtle but powerful climate change allegory. Although the show doesn't beat its audience over the head with its message, it's nonetheless some incredibly depressing viewing. When series co-creator Michael Jacobs first proposed killing everybody off, ABC balked, but after some consideration, everyone saw that it was the right choice. Jacobs told Vulture, "I said, it's not the cast that we are trying to destroy, it's the entire world. My source for doing this is history." While Superman the Animated Series was a quality cartoon, it never quite escaped the shadow of its predecessor, Batman the Animated Series. However, while the Man of Steel's adventures often seemed lighthearted compared to the exploits of the Caped Crusader, Superman's finale left him hanging in a dark place. The two-part final episode, Legacy, features a mysteriously brainwashed Kal-El, who believes that he's the adopted son of Darkseid. This evil Superman is waging war on Earth in his villainous father's name. Of course, Superman soon recovers and delivers an unholy smackdown to Darkseid. But the people of Earth aren't about to just forgive and forget. Thanks to Darkseid, Superman's reputation on Earth is shot. Aside from Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, no one will move to help the disgraced Man of Steel.
If you ask me, the bum ought to go back where he came from.
That's how it ends. When the animated Superman returned in Justice League, this plot thread was never revisited. Now that Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is recognized as an honored member of the Avengers, it's easy to forget that the original on-screen depiction of the Green Goliath was a true tragedy. 1977's The Incredible Hulk was a tale of true superhero tragedy. The sight of David Banner hitchhiking off to an uncertain fate as the famous Lonely Man theme plays remains a touching TV moment. The series itself took great pains to depict Banner as a decent man facing horrible circumstances. The Hulk wasn't a superhero but a big green disease, and from week to week, Banner's goal was to find a cure, clear his name, and return to a normal life. Sadly, David Banner never gets a happy ending. The original show ended in an anticlimax, but thankfully, the story continued in a series of TV movies. The last of those was titled The Death of the Incredible Hulk. In the film's climax, Banner's kindness towards so many others goes unrewarded. He's never cured, and he dies in the body of the Hulk after falling out of an airplane. Suddenly, the Lonely Man is even sadder. A medical drama set in a rundown Boston hospital, St. Elsewhere was known for its gritty, realistic storylines. Often cited as one of the most influential shows of all time, St. Elsewhere also ends with the weirdest twist in television history. In the show's final moments, the camera pulls back from St. Eligius Hospital to reveal the building inside a snow globe. A young, autistic boy named Tommy Westfall is staring into the globe, while his construction worker dad, whom viewers will recognize as Dr. Donald Westfall, one of the show's main characters, discusses the boy's condition. The entire show has apparently taken place within Tommy Westfall's mind. Here's where it gets stranger. As postulated by the late comic book writer Dwayne McDuffie, if St. Elsewhere was a figment of Tommy's imagination, then so are a shocking number of fictional characters and settings. St. Elsewhere boasted a surprising number of crossovers. If you connect the dots, other shows that happen in Tommy Westfall's imagination include Frasier, Homicide: Life on the Street, and The X-Files. Even the Marvel Cinematic Universe is subject to the Westfall theory. The animated series Ed, Edd and Eddy always had a bit of a dark side. Despite the show's light tone, the trio of Eds still seem isolated from their peers. Eddy, a boastful loser who's always trying to scam others and worships an older brother who looks down on him, is an especially sad character. That depressing subtext hit the foreground in the show's original finale. Take this, Ed, and shove it. The episode begins like any other, but during the second part, Eddy gets hit on the head and awakens as a bitter old man. The entire series has been Eddy remembering his lost youth. Old Eddy spends the rest of the episode trying to escape his fate, but in the end, all he can do is accept it. For a cartoon, that's a pretty depressing way to go out. However, the show proved popular enough to spark a revival, and an additional 2 seasons followed. Nonetheless, the fact that this episode was intended to be the last we saw of the Eds is definitely a shocker. No list of dark TV finales is complete without the final episode of The Sopranos. What's darker than leading the audience to believe something horrible is about to befall the main character, and then cutting to black? In the decades since The Sopranos ended, creator David Chase has expressed no regrets about being so cruel to his audience, and continues to be ambiguous about Tony Soprano's fate, while admitting that the finale was more controversial than he expected. In a 2019 interview with the Directors Guild of America, Chase stated, "I thought the ending would be somewhat jarring, sure, but not to the extent it was, and not a subject of such discussion." Nonetheless, you have to give Chase credit. There's a reason people still debate this ending today. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.